How's it going, YouTube? Op.poker James here. It's session review time, and yet again we got another jackpot spin and go. This time it's at a little bit higher stakes. We're at the $10 limit. We're going to be reviewing players Illidio's play and see how they fared in such a big multiplier. If you're enjoying these videos, please smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It really helps us with the YouTube algorithm and all that. So thanks for all the support, and let's jump in. So I think we start the action off, unfortunately missing at least one hand. One thing that we didn't bring up the last time we looked at a jackpot multiplier is that the blinds are every 5 minutes. So on PokerStars, when you get the bigger jackpots, you get longer in the time bank. So you're going to be playing deeper a lot more than shallow compared to regular spin and goes or lower multipliers. So that's something to definitely pay attention to in these games. So we've got 7-8, we get the walk. Another thing that we should pay attention to, now that we're playing the $10 limit and we've got a $1,200 prize pool, if you're playing for $10, I think a lot of people will become scared money at this point. If you win $1,000. If you come second or third, you only get $100. So it's very possible that we're going to get someone on this table, unlike the last one, which has got some scared money involved. I guess we'll see though. We got Jack 9. I would like a raise or a limp. Okay, raise. So Ilydio elects to make a small raise here. When I'm this kind of stack size, I prefer making it bigger. I personally do 3 times the big blind, but as long as it's not a min raise, I'm not going to criticize the play. As long as the range is good, I'm not going to criticize it. So we make the raise and Valentin folds. Okay, this is good. Happy to just take it down. Ace 5. Are you going to play it or not? I would suggest definitely playing a hand like Ace 5 in these big jackpots. I think that you're going to be playing a lot of scared money, and they're going to be making a lot more folds pre-flop and on flops. So yeah, I would be raising Ace 5 as definite. Maybe all the Ace X's, as I know that sometimes I advise leaving the weaker Ace X hands out of these games, especially if they're very tough games, leaving them out. But yeah, that's what I'll do. Now, with the Ace 5, elected to make it a 3.3 big blind raise. It's not something that I would recommend doing at all. When you are on the button, you want to make a minimum raise. Many reasons to do that. The easiest one to explain is that at this stack size, by making it 3.3 big blinds, we give the both blinds an opportunity to make their life very simple. They could just start shoving or folding against your raise size. If you're making a minimum raise, you're not losing too much if you end up folding. You kind of commit yourself if you're raising 3.3 big blinds from the button as well, and you get shoved on. You shouldn't be folding too much. So it's very hard, and you have to have a very tight, strong range there. Ace 5 obviously isn't in it. Yeah, just simply put, I prefer to min raise or fold from the button. No big sizings, no limping, none of that. Okay, so yeah, that's one thing that I would definitely look to change in the game, Illydio. Definitely, just to min raise or fold on the button at this stack size. If you're getting short, let's say you're getting 15 big blinds or less, then you can start adding in some shoving hands for sure. But until that point, I wouldn't be playing any other ways than min raise or fold. Queen 3, I don't mind if you fold, don't mind if you call, make the fold. I think it's okay to be on the tighter side given the other players have been on the tighter side. I think what you want to do is react to your opponents here. So far, they haven't seemed to be getting that out of line, seem to be folding quite a lot. So it means when they do raise into a pot, they're probably more likely to be on the stronger side of things. So a borderline hand like Queen 3, yeah, I like the fold. Good stuff. Jack 7. Okay, I don't want to play that against a raise when we're in a small blind. Would like to fold. Okay. So yeah, it does look like that at least Valentin is folding their big blinds quite easily now. So you raised and they folded, and the button raised and they folded as well. So they might be playing quite tight. Something you want to start noticing immediately. Like, you don't have much spots here to make the chips, make the money. So you have to take all the knowledge, all the information you can, and use it for yourself. King 5, I think it's a little bit too strong to be folding now. Good. I like the call. You could make it a funky free bet. I wouldn't be that upset about it, but yeah, you just have to make sure not to do it too often. Anyway, King 5 on an Ace Queen 8 board. Yeah, unfortunately, I would suggest folding. If they bet one big blind, I guess there's an argument to stick around because King High has some showdown value. But even then, I would be folding, actually. Yeah, just got to fold. It's too strong of a flop for them. And we do make the fold. King 5, got to let it go. Just, if you're trying to play hands like that, you're going to have a bad time from the small blind. Small blind is really hard to play. So you just want to play the good stuff. King 8, I'd like a raise. Okay, so we got some different raise sizes going on the button. It's going to be hard to balance out all of these different raise sizes. I would just recommend trying to use one size at a time, and from the button, just a min raise. 2.3x, I guess this is the smallest size you're going to use. I guess you don't limp. I guess we'll see. But yeah, I think this is the first most important take from the game. If you're on the button, it's just a much better strategy. It means you can play more hands. If you're only putting in 2 big blinds and you get shoved on, you can do a lot more folding than if you put in 3 big blinds or 2.5 big blinds or 2.3 big blinds in this case. So yeah, it just means you can play more hands. So King 8, we get called by this small blind. What we do know about the small blind is so far they've been tight, and now they've just elected to play a hand. I don't mind the idea of c-betting, but if I were in your shoes, I'd make it a smaller sizing. So let's have a look at how big you bet. You just bet half pot, right? And we get called, unfortunately. Yeah, I would make it smaller. I'd make it 1/3 pot on such a board, a paired board. It's quite hard to play back, especially when you're maybe scared money, hopefully, in the small blind. But we do get called, and we've bet quite big. I'd definitely start giving up at this point. I would not be barreling. I wouldn't be comfortable thinking that I'm going to get this through. Very, very fast call. Check and hope your king high is good, I guess. Hope the king high is good. If he's got a jack, you don't want to try and get him to fold that. Yes. I think we both had a feeling that our king high was going to be good there. Once he fast called and then checked the river. Yeah, I mean, it played out very well for you. In your shoes, I would have bet the flop smaller, checked back the turn, and then on the river, I'm guessing that Valentin would not have bluffed from how they've been playing so far, and you would have checked and won. So you did win a little bit more than before. Yes, that's good. Than you would have in my shoes, but overall, I think it's a better play to bet the flop smaller and then give up against someone who we've so far seemed to have been quite on the tight side of things. That has all changed now because we saw them flat call on the small blind with 10-8 off. So as soon as I see something like that where they've played far too strong a range, 10-8 off, come on, whatever. We saw it, chat, right? We saw it. He had a 10 and an 8 and it was offsuit. So as soon as we see them playing that wide from that position, we want to make the note that they're recreational. It's starting to, my mind's kind of boggling, like, if he's going to call that from the small blind, what has he been folding on the big blind? I don't know. So yeah, I'll just make a note or a label on them that they're a recreational player and look to be in lots of pots against them. I'd also make a note right now, if at least mentally, that they didn't go for the bluff when they missed on the river. And that's very important to know. There are a lot of players who never get to showdown with those types of hands. They will try and bluff it always. So yeah, important. They also make a 3x raise now. I would be very wary of that. I think it's a very strong range of hands. So I'd be very tight in that position. I'd probably play a 3-bet shove or fold strategy against it. So let's say I had a hand like Queen 8 or Queen 9 suited. Those are tough hands to play against such a raise size. I would honestly make a crazy fold with a hand like that. And then Queen 10 suited to Queen Jack suited. You can decide to 3-bet shove or you can decide to flat call. I wouldn't mind either way. But yeah, when they make them 3x raise sizes, are going to be very, very tight and much more shove or fold happy, I think. King 3, I don't want to play that, be too wide of a range. Even against people that you thought were playing tight. Now we know Valentin definitely doesn't play tight with that 10-8 hand though, so I want to stay away. You can see that Valentin's been using all sorts of raise sizes. So they've been using 3x and now they're using 2x. Try and get a picture of what's going on. I think we want to see what they've got on showdowns and try and make note of it, mental notes. They've pot bet on a dry board out of position. Also not a standard play. Get a nice walk, that's good. King 10, at this stack depth, I like just shoving. You're 13 big blinds deep. I think shoving is good. Raising, even for 3 big blinds, you're going to put yourself in a horrible spot, being out of position. So yeah, I would definitely prefer to just shove it in pre-flop. Just makes your life so much easier rather than being out of position. Yeah. Ouch. What is he doing in this pot with 10-4? I mean, yeah, if you shoved, he wouldn't have had 10-4. So that would have been cool. Ouch. That's a shame. I mean, what can you get from that, right? You saw him fold twice earlier, and now he's playing 10-4. What can you get from that? Like, if he's going to call hands like that, what the heck has he been folding, right? So you've got to start putting the label on them that maybe they don't really know what they're doing at all. They might not be aware of pre-flop hand strength. That might be a note that you need to make you aware of. Possibly not bluffing enough post-flop as well. So again, the King 4 suited, I think we've got that note that we don't want to be raising bigger than a minimum. So I won't go into it again. Oh, this is a nasty spot for a 100x multiplier. So I have $1,200 on the line. Especially as Pucha has been probably the tightest one on the table here. You've got ace-10 suited. I would make the call. I wouldn't like it, but I am making the call. Occasionally, yes, they're going to have a hand like ace-jack. But you are playing a winner-take-all tournament. Getting second place doesn't get you any more money, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. You just want to go for the win here, and hopefully you'll be flipping or better. Let's hope they've got a hand like ace-9 or ace-9 suited. That would be amazing for us. I think that's more likely than a hand like ace-king, for example. So yeah, I would make the call. That's so you made the fold. I guess you're making the fold with the intention of hoping that you've got enough of an edge carrying on. Yes, the blind levels are 5 minutes, but I think ace-10 is just going to do too well against that shoving range. Let's say your opponent has a pocket pair. It's fine to call with ace-10 as long as the pair is 9s or lower, because there's the extra big blind and you've paid a small blind. So you don't mind taking that flip. Obviously, you prefer to be getting it in a head, but yeah, you don't mind taking that flip. Facing a limp now, you got 3-7 suited. Don't mind the check. Could also raise, ISO raise against the limp. But yeah, checking is cool. Call the flop. Okay. Turn, you're going to go for a bluff. Or not. I think it's fine to just try and hit. You've got so many outs. Hard to rep too much. So yeah, I don't mind checking it back. And then on the river, what are we trying to represent here? That's the question that I'm posing to you. If you call the flop, check the turn, and then you're checked to on the river, what are you trying to represent? Are you trying to say you have a 5? Because a 5 would normally bet on the turn. There's lots and lots of draws to be scared of. Are you trying to say you have an ace? Are you trying to say you have a 9 or a deuce? What are you trying to say? So if I was going to take a bluffing line here against someone I presumed isn't a reg, I probably would have bet the turn, to be honest. I would have bet the turn because that's what I would have done if I had a 5 or an ace. So I think I want to do it with my draws as well. We have no showdown value with 7 high, so I do like the idea of bluffing. On the river, what am I trying to represent? You made it, how many big blinds? Half pot. So half pot, you're saying you have a 2 or a 9, right? And I don't think that's too believable for most people. So yeah, if for some reason I got to the river, I would be making it bigger. I'd be trying to represent an ace or a 5. So I'd maybe be making it something like 6 big blinds, something like that. Oh, unfortunately, they hit the 9. Even if I made it 6 big blinds, he's probably still going to call, so that would not be good. They've now limped the button. This is a good sign to me that we're playing in a 2 recreational game. Again, the standard play really here is min raise, shove, or fold from the button. They've shoved so far. I think they've min raised and now they've limped. So I would be fairly sure that their limp range is going to be quite bad. But you got 8 free off, so I like the fold. Let's see what they're up to. Yeah, looks like they had a weak range to immediately fold on the flop. King Jack. At this kind of stack size, we're just going to play push or fold, in my opinion. Yeah, that's good. Good, that's the right play. I generally advise if people are playing low stakes, if you're under 13 big blinds and you haven't got a completely solid sorted game plan, if you're under 13 big blinds, just use as a button range just to push or fold, okay? Rather than trying to min raise some hands and shove some hands, or trying to limp some hands or whatever. Just play push or fold from that, and you should be doing a hell of a lot better. Eventually, yes, at like the $25 limit, maybe you want to start learning to play shorter, or if you play flashes, you definitely need to learn to play shorter. But you're not losing too much chippy V because those spots don't happen too often free-handed. Oh, I got 8-2 again against the limp that I don't respect at all. It's a shame. Okay, let's see what happens here. Check. Are we going to get to showdown? No, we're not. Okay. 10-9. I don't mind a min raise here, given that we're playing 2 people that are quite... definitely look on the recreational side of things. So main reason I'm raising there is to be in position post flop against them, to often see bet and take it down. We know that Valentin didn't bluff in a spot where they probably should have, and we've so far seen that Polcha seems to be quite fit or fold, giving away the strength of their hand. It seems that way. So yeah, I would make the raise there. King 8, I don't mind just shoving. I think shoving's fine. Also min raising. Again, we went through it before, covered before, why I wouldn't want to make 2.3 times raise size. We get the call, ace high board. Are we going to go for a bluff or not? Okay, so if you're checking back, are you trying to go to showdown with your hand or not? That's the question. Personally, against Poucher, I think they've been really, really fit or fold so far, being very quick to fold against bets from opponents. So I personally, on this board texture, would bet everything apart from a 9x and a 10x as like an exploit. Now you're in a spot where any queen gives you a straight. King high could possibly be good, but I doubt it. And then any 7 gives you a straight, right? So it's a really weird spot to be in. I guess you don't want to fold. I guess you can end up bluffing rivers. Yeah, not great. So I would have just bet the flop and given up immediately against this player. I think this very quick shove is highly indicative of a good hand there, right? Queen or better. We've got another limp, and again we got trash. Let's just see a free flop. This is the kind of board texture, one of few board textures where I don't mind the idea of leading out. You got any 3 for a straight and any 7 for a straight. On a board that definitely hits your range very well. So against the button limp, all of your stronger hands are going to have raised pre-flop, all the high card hands. You've got 5-2, you've got 8-2, and you've got 8-5, and Valentin really shouldn't have any of those hands. So yeah, I really like the idea of betting there. You don't, which is okay. Checks back, you hit the straight. Definitely want to start building up the pot now. Jack comes in. Don't expect them to have a 8. Don't know if I can get value from a 5 or a 2. Think they could have a lot of missed spade draws with a high card. But the main problem we have here is when they had the 10-8, they did not bluff it. So I think the best play here is to go for value with your straight. What kind of sizing would I use? You're hoping that they've hit this with this jack, right? You're hoping that they had the jack of spades, or they had jack 10 or jack 9 or a hand like this. So yeah, I think shoving all in is the right play here. And you do that, right? Looks like it. Nice. Hopefully get called. Snap fold. I guess they just had a high spade that didn't hit. That's a shame. Jack 9, we go with over limp. Yeah, good. I guess you could think about raising a hand like Jack 9, but you're very shallow. So in this hand, weirdly enough, I wouldn't mind making an exploit raise to, let's say, like 3 big blinds or 3.5 big blinds. I think Valentin would often fold. I think Poucher would often fold. And you look very strong. So if you are called, you could bet a lot of flops and just take it down. So if the flop came like this, queen 3-3, and then you bet, I think you take it down quite often. But it's a very exploitative kind of play against the player types we've got in front of us. Something that's really important to note, actually, is that when you're playing someone that you've decided or you've marked or labeled as a recreational, don't worry about balance at all. They're not able to comprehend what your range is. They're barely able themselves to figure out what kind of hand, what they would do with their own hands, let alone what you would have. So yeah, once you've got that mark on someone, you can really throw balance out the window, throw GTO out the window. You're just looking to maximize against what you perceive their strategy to be. And my perception is that Poucher has been very face up in the strength of their hand, and I don't respect the limp at all. So yeah, I'd raise it up, try and get Valentin to fold. If Poucher does end up seeing a flop, I'm going to bet small, try and take it down a lot there. So I think we'd either take it down a lot on pre-flop or on the flop. And would look very strong doing it. So yeah. Exploit. Unfortunately, I don't think you can do much here. I do question what pouches go and what they're thinking here. I do question it quite a lot. But yeah, Jack 9, you got someone else to act behind to leave it. Yeah, I think Valentin saw through the weakness, right? King 10 at this stack size, yeah, just shove. Rather than make the small raises, I think just shove it in. Keep it simple. Raise folding here already sucks. So yeah, raise calling also sucks. Shoving is better than folding. Eight, 5. Gotta fold. Very wary of the strength of his hand there. Like I said, I think he's playing quite face up. Poucher. Feels that way at any rate so far. 9-2, gotta fold. Ace Queen versus 8s. Are we going to be heads up? We are. We're heads up against Valentin. Right, so what have we learned about Valentin so far? We've learned that they might not be aware of pre-flop hand strengths. What's a good pre-flop hand and what's a bad pre-flop hand. We've learned that they don't bluff when they've missed a draw out of position. That's what we've learned so far. So let's try and make the best of it. Third place got $100. Second place also gets 100. So there's no pay jump. Okay, so we saw a 7-4 free flop. I do not mind the check and the check back. King on the turn. If you're playing a good player, they would quickly recognize that you wouldn't want to be betting out too much on this king turn. But Valentin, we don't suspect to be in that category. So I guess the small bet is designed to get anything that hasn't hit to fold. I personally would just check and give up. We don't have any draws. Got Jack high. Yeah, just pretty garbage hand here. I personally would just give up. I don't think we're going to get this through too often. And we get shoved on. So easy fold now. Getting very, very short. Queen 3. I would like to limp, please. We're going to do a limp. We're going to make a fold. Okay. Yeah, I would definitely be limping a lot against Valentin. I wouldn't play any 2 at 8 big blinds deep, but I would be playing... Let's say we're playing 9-3 off, 9-4 off. We're playing all the 10s. We're playing every suited hand. Playing 4-3 off. We're playing 5-3 off. Maybe even 5-2 off. Right, very, very, very wide. Almost any 2. That's what I would do against Valentin. Just given the reads we got on them so far. Queen Jack at this stack size. Yeah, I like the shove. You run to aces. Oh my god. Come on. Get in. Get in. I mean, what can you do? You run into aces, right? Immediately afterwards you get 9-3. I would be limping. But yeah, that was a sick hand. He's going to be fuming for sure. Might be in shock. So recreational players do one of 2 things. Either they go into shock, where they're just very scared about everything now, or they start raging because their aces got cracked. And we need to figure out in what direction our opponent will be going. If this was, let's say, a 3x multiplier or a 2x multiplier or a 5x multiplier, I'd be much more inclined to think that they would start raging now. But because there's so much money on the line, I'm guessing that they might just be a bit more in shock and even more cautious from now on. We'll see. Queen 7, I don't mind shoving against the limp, but yeah, it's okay to check as well. I think we got to just check fold here. Unfortunately, we haven't hit the board at all. 7-5, I would like to shove pre-flop. I guess limping is okay now that we know how they've been playing post-flop. But yeah, shove or limp. Do not fold. Definitely not a fold spot here. This hand is far too good to not be playing. We've hit the pair. Got a bet. I'll just bet one big blind if I was you. I think any other sizings are very suspect to me. When it's a board like kind of dry paired board, I just generally bet the minimum, even if it's two low cards, because it's very unlikely our opponent will be able to continue too often. And betting big there is just going to single us out against a very strong range, and that's not what we want with our top pair there. We're happy to charge them slightly bad price with the wide range of hands that they have. We don't want their plays to be easy, right? So if we made it 2.5 big blinds on that 2 big blind pot. If we're making it that big, most of their decisions, Valentine's decisions, are pretty easy. If you don't have a pair and a gut shot and some overcards, then you're just gonna fold, right? So yeah, making things easy is not a good idea. In heads up. Jack 2, yep. We just fold. Okay, fair enough. Queen 3, I don't mind folding here. Just given how they've been on the kind of passive side recently. 9-2, I would be limping, like I said, but I know you're going to fold. Going to be trying to play a very wide range of hands against them. King 7, I would definitely be shoving. I like it. Good. Just hope not to run into aces again. That's good. King 10, I don't mind shove, yeah. Yeah, let's go with a shove. That's cool. I'm fine with that. So against some people, I would limp as a kind of trap. So if I limp and someone shoves, I would call. But against this player, I think it's better to just shove ourselves. I don't think they're going to be too aggro. They haven't been so far. That's another reason why I'm playing such a wide range of hands against them, because I think I get to see a flop way more often than I should. They should be raising limps or being far more aggressive against limps than I think they are being, so that's good. Ace 3, we're going to shove, right? We're going to shove. No, don't check. Don't do it. I shove all my aces at this stack depth. No need to balance it out when we're this shallow. This is just really hard to play now. Really, really hard. This is not going to be fun pot at all. Anyway, you got to call the flop for sure. You got a back doors to the nuts, but mostly you've got a pair, so you don't want to be folding. Good. You got a pair and a draw. Oh my god, this is a nightmare. He snap checks back. Okay, we're hoping that they check river, right? We do not. This is not a spot to bluff. Betting is basically bluffing. Nice. Yeah, they just gave up on their bluff. Very glad we didn't fold. Ace 2, I would be shoving at this stack size. We made the raise. I guess against our opponent, it's okay to raise. It's okay, but I much prefer shoving. Just the easier play. King 9 suited, don't mind raising. You could do a non-all-in size, yeah. Yeah, I don't mind that. Question is, against this player, when oh my god, we did get raised. Do we want to play for stacks? Now, from my perspective, I don't want to, which is really weird. But essentially, I look at it like this. I think they're going to limp and call a very wide range of good hands. Sorry, a very wide range of hands. And I think they're only going to limp trap very, very strong hands. I'm thinking like aces and kings and maybe ace-king and maybe queens, right? Really, really strong hands. That's my perception of what they've been doing. So when I make this small raise and they immediately make a non-all-in re-raise, I'm thinking that we're absolutely crushed pre-flop. So I would make the fold with the king nine suited, even though generally it's a hand I would often stack off with, especially against a reg player. I would not be doing that against someone who's been the kind of passive player they have been so far. I would just let it go. And I think you did the right play there. Good stuff. Nice fold. 8-7 offsuit, you definitely got to play. If you don't play that, you're playing far, far too tight. Yeah, that's a really, really easily playable hand there. So definitely want to look at your heads up ranges here. Freeze, we've got a shove against the limp. We've been trucked. Okay, queen 8. Okay, come on, where's my free? No. Their limp call actually was not a bad play at all. Our shove with freeze, not a bad play at all. It's just unfortunate for us. They managed to hit. That's a shame. We get second place for $100. Yeah, a lot to take away there. I think overall the things that I'm most concerned with is actually something that happened very late on in that game, which is folding 8-7 off 12 big blinds heads up. You want to be playing quite a lot of hands. In fact, against this player at this stack size, I would play any two. So I'd play 7-2 off here. I'd play it as a limp, and then I'd try and bet a lot of flops. Yeah, and if I hit a pair, I'd try and go to showdown with it because they don't seem to have been bluffing too much as well. So that's the main takeaway I'll take. Another one is your raise sizes from the button. I'd make it min raise only. I would take this flip spot. Yes, occasionally you're gonna have a bad time. Yes, quite often you're gonna be flipping, but unfortunately it's just a spin and go, and you just got to take these flips. This is not a spot where a second gets more. If it was, I can understand folding, definitely, because then you got ICM factors in play. But yeah, that's another spot. Yeah, button play, that spot, and heads up. I think post flop overall your sizings were alright. I think overall the ideas were okay. Maybe you want to check like what kind of hands you want to shove against limps. I mean, this ace-3 hand is just really horrible to play post flop, and it's a very easy shoving spot against the limp. So yeah, maybe you want to think about that. King 9 hand was brutal. I really like that you folded though, and unfortunately it's a GG. Can't win them all, I guess. Yeah, lot to learn. I hope you didn't think I was too critical of you. You got $100 out of it anyway, so that's at least there's that. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and please subscribe. If you want more content like this, please tell me in the chat, and just talk about certain spots that came up here, because there was a lot of things to talk about. So maybe I've missed some stuff. If you want to talk more about spin and goes, we have a Discord, and in that Discord we've got a spin and go section where we go through hand histories. So if you guys are interested in chatting hand histories with other players, we got a hand history converter to help you out if you want to share hands. Plenty of professional players in there that are willing to help out, and it's free. So just come over, just use the link, come join, say hello, tell us where you found us. if you found us on this video. That would be cool. And I'll see you soon. Thanks all for watching. Peace.